Hi there, my name is Kendall Grady and welcome to Holistic Music Pedagogy, where I discuss my approach to violin playing and education, which I copyrighted some time ago. Today I want to talk to you about correlation and coordination. Coordination is where I have multiple things going on at once that I'm trying to interleave or work with simultaneously. Correlation is where I'm trying to correlate or connect a specific idea or motion with a sound, etc. So in terms of correlation, one way I really like to do this is with anatomical movements. I've broken down the movements by very basic idea. So abduction and adduction, this is like an up and down motion. Extension and flexation, right? A forward and back. A pronation and sublimation, which is like an open and close motion. A rotation and circulation, which is also like a out and in motion. So these ideas can both relate to the left hand and the right hand technique. When I think about the up and down motion, so the adduction and abduction motion, in my right hand, I think about the the string crossings, right? So this is my upper arm crossing the strings. And therefore, I can imagine that up and down motion being a little smoother and maybe being closer together if I want very close string crossings, or much wider and with a more open arm if I want something much more resonant, right? In my left hand, I often think about the up and down motion with the hammering of my fingers, which I've talked about before. So if I want a very intense, clear sound, I might be up and down motion or hammering my fingers quite a lot. But if I want something a little softer and less heard or less articulated, I might want something a little softer, right? And less up and down motion. So that's just one example. I'm correlating a motion to the type of technique that I want on the instrument, and I hope the type of sound as well. Another way of thinking about this is correlating or coordinating, I should say, the left and right brain. So this is the technical left brain that we've been talking about. And then we've also got that philosophical right brain. So just like I am thinking about the way my body moves and what kind of technique I want on the instrument, simultaneously, I want to be thinking about my approach to the color, my approach to the sound. And this may come out in the type of vibrato that I use or the way that I finger certain passages. I want to share a strategy with you called interleaving. It's a way of practicing where if I have a problem connecting certain passages or transitioning from one idea to another, whether that be musical or technical, it's a way of practicing and splitting up your section to make it a little more manageable and achievable. I'll give you an example in the Michael Tork Violin Concerto Sky, which I've been working on recently. So a simple way of thinking about it is all of the ways that we can piece together A, B, and C. So here might be my A passage. Here might be B. Here might be C. Say, for example, I'm having a trouble connecting the passages because I'm first learning the piece. Or say I'm having a hard time relating them to one another via shifts or fingering. What I might explore is a different structure than A, B, and C. I might try B, C, A. And not only do you start to see the similarities between passages, but you also start to hear where things are coming from and where things are going to. It really helps when you're trying to isolate something that's very technically challenging. In this case, maybe one of the few things that's technically challenging could be the shifts that I've chosen to put in. But it also really helps with memory. I'm going to talk about memory in another episode of this holistic music pedagogy series. But what I do want to say about memory that's applicable here is that memory can rely upon the technical elements that I know are coming up within a piece, but also the musical elements as well. So where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. So if I break down a passage by different areas, area A, area B, area C, and I explore how they connect to one another by almost like a puzzle, separating it, or like Legos, B, C, A, C, A, B. There's several varieties that you can explore, and it really lets you dive deep into a passage in another way which you may not be able to do before. The final area of correlation and coordination I do want to talk about or mention is this idea of correlating your learning process with your creative process. So everybody is very different when it comes to the way that they learn something and the way that they go about their creative process, right? But I always like to think about, in this approach, an idea of spiral learning. So it's the idea that we come around to the same topic again and again and again in our process, but perhaps at each time a higher and more deeper level, if that makes sense. When I'm learning a piece for the first time, I often listen to it without looking at the music. And in this way, I'm getting to know it in my imagination. I'm getting to interpret it on my terms and explore it in a way that I have my own vision of the piece fundamentally right away. Then I might analyze the elements of the music itself. So in this part of my creative process, I'm going deeper into the compositional approach. Why are we in this key? Why are we using these rhythms, etc.? Then I might listen to the music with the actual score in front of me. And there I'm looking for some more nuanced details, like the larger structure of the piece and where is the story going, and also differences in that structure that can help me remember, okay, I go here, or okay, this leads to this next time. And finally, I isolate those very difficult passages, especially if they're technically challenging, in the ways that I've mentioned. So I am correlating the kind of sound that I want in my head with what I physically can do on the instrument, and I'm coordinating my left and right brain and my right and left side of my body simultaneously. So in that short little time together, I hope that you've gotten a glimpse into some ideas involving correlation and coordination. And I hope that it sparks an interest in you to explore these ideas on your own. So until next time, stay happy and healthy and light. Bye-bye for now.